Hi, parents. How are you? Happy Monday morning to all of you. I hope you've had a fun weekend. We're talking about sandwiching our conversations with our kids. And actually, in all honesty, this applies to anything. This applies to talking to your partners. This applies to work, people that you work with, talking to friends, family. This is a great habit to get into because what it ultimately does is it takes the person that you're talking to, it relaxes them and takes them away from feeling defensive. Okay. Just think back to, when you said, when somebody said to you, say it's work or a parent says to you, we need to talk. What is the first thing you're thinking? I'm in trouble, right? So, how about we take that off the table? How about we need to have a talk means something different to your child and not that they're in trouble so that they don't immediately get defensive. Parents do it all the time. And immediately that child gets defensive, and the talk turns out to not be a calm communication, but an aggressive, a one that might end up in shouting or yelling or lecturing instead of being a productive conversation. We want productive conversations with good listening. Think if you lecture. Nobody likes to be lectured to. I'd be willing to bet if you asked yourself if you like to be lectured to, the answer would be no. No one likes to be lectured to. So that's what we're going to talk about today is relaxing the art of communication so that you can actually have a conversation, excuse me, around what you want to talk about and come out with some productive resolutions to the problem. Okay, so what is this sandwiching conversation? Basically, think of a sandwich. You have the bread, you have the meat in the middle, and you have the bread or the vegetables or whatever's in the middle. Bread, food, bread. Okay. In a conversation, the bread becomes a compliment. So, compliment to your child what you want to discuss in the middle, and a compliment ends the conversation. It's an important thing to remember, regardless of who you're talking to. Okay. So, for example, you sit down to talk with your child, and maybe you want to talk about them, finding a time to do their homework so that they're not being messy with their homework. So you start off, honey, you've been doing great in school. I'm really proud of you. I can't believe how well you did on that spelling test. Were you proud of yourself? Because that was phenomenal. And if you need more help with spelling, remembering your words, whatever, come to me, let me know, and we can practice, before you go to school the next day if you want to. Immediately, there's a compliment, there's a positive conversation. That's your piece of bread. Next, you go into the homework. So, what I wanted to talk with you about today is some ways that you and I can think of a better way for you to get your homework done and maybe a better place to do it. So, because I noticed you're kind of racing to do it before bed, you're tired. So, what do you think? What are some of your ideas on how you can do your homework when you're not tired? And maybe we can find a good place for you to work so that you don't have a lot of interruptions. I am asking them for ideas. When you ask your child for ideas, number one, on how to resolve an issue, you're teaching them problem solving, conflict resolution, all of that. And you're giving them the responsibility for what they have to do and complete. So after you talk about this problem and they come up with ideas, you can be like, wow, those are some great ideas. I think we should do that. What do you think? Yes? If they're struggling and they're like, I don't really know, then say, well, I have a couple ideas. Would you like to hear them? And they'll probably say yes, because you're having a discussion, a calm one, not one that's aggressive or blaming or shaming. Well, my idea is, what about if you came home from school, you took a half hour, you had a snack, you run around, do something, chilling out, and then you'd spent a half hour on your homework before dinner. How do you like that idea? I don't know. I don't know if that will work or that won't work. Well, do you want to try it or do you have some other ideas? And that one idea might help them to think of other ideas. Always good, even with little kids that are 3, if they're having an issue that you're trying to resolve. Maybe they're throwing tantrums or maybe they're getting very upset when you say no to them. Let them think of ways that they can calm themselves when they get irritated or they're disappointed or they're mad. Let them come up with some ideas, brainstorm it. But the whole idea is to present the conversation with a compliment. Start it off on the positive. And then after you've had this whole conversation and you've talked about what's going on, come up with some ideas, pick an idea that's going to work and say, okay, what idea do you think is best? Pick an idea that's going to work and let them choose from all these ideas that you thought of. And then if that's a good working idea for all of you, go with that one. It's always better to go with an idea that your child picks out because you are sending a lot of messages with that. Number 1, you're sending the message, I believe in you. Number 2, you're giving them your respect by asking them and having them come up with ideas. You're not just telling. You're getting them involved in their own growing up journey and the way they're parented. They're not gonna look back on their childhood and think, "Oh, my parent, all they did was boss me around. That's all they did. They told me everything I had to do, and I got so angry, and I didn't wanna do anything." You're getting them involved. You're empowering them. That's the difference between just saying, "Okay, this is what's gonna happen." Do you like it when somebody what if you're at work and they walk up to you and they don't even ask your opinion? They're like, "This is what's gonna happen." Now, sometimes as a child, we need to do that. But there are a lot of times when things are negotiable and there are learning moments that you can ask your child their ideas how to resolve a problem. And it is a tremendous learning experience for them and a tremendous way to build respect and trust between both of you and let your children know that I believe in you. I want to hear what you have to say, and I actually value what you have to say. When they become teenagers, they're not going to worry about that they're in a family where nobody cares what they have to say. They know you care and they know you value it and they know you respect them and they hand that respect right back to you. You don't lecture. As I said before, lecturing, everybody turns that off. So you can lecture all you want. They're not going to listen to what you have to say and they're just waiting for it to be over. Their mind is going elsewhere. Think of words that you say. Words matter. Communication is 20% the words you say and 80% the nonverbal cues that are associated with those words. So your words matter, your actions matter, and actually they matter more. So if you're trying to say something nice and you're rolling your eyes or you're not even looking at your child, like imagine if I was talking to you and I'm looking over here and I'm like looking up here. I'm not giving you your attention. that sends a message that that person you're talking to is not important to you, or you're looking at your phone. All those little messages, all those nonverbal cues that you're sending out mean a lot more as to how that message is received than the words themselves. Remember that during your conversations, questions are the gateway to communication. So if your child says something, ask them a question like, "Can you tell me more about that? Why does that make you feel that way?" Or, "How can I help you?" Ask questions. "Well, mom, I just get frustrated with my homework." "Well, tell me more." "I don't know. I feel like there's so much, and then I get mad and I don't do it." "Well, let's talk about ways we can help. Maybe we break down the subjects that you have homework in when you get home, and what if you just do one subject, take a break, do another subject, take a break, do another subject, instead of everything in one big pile?" Ask questions. Get to the bottom of how they're feeling by merely asking them to tell me more. "I just get mad." "Well, honey, what makes you mad? I understand. I get mad all the time." You can share stories about the last time you were mad and what you did. Get to the bottom of what they're feeling, because often what they're frustrated with is not at all what it's related to. They're frustrated with something totally different, and if you don't get to the bottom of it, you can't really help them. Don't interrupt them, don't judge, don't criticize, don't ridicule, none of that. Just be a good listener. Listen to what they have and then encourage another question to have them tell you more, okay? And then the last part of that conversation is another compliment. Your compliment can be, "Thank you you're getting so big the way we were able to discuss this, and you came up with great ideas. Oh my gosh, things I didn't even think about." Or something in school or something at home or some way that they help their sibling. End on a happy, upbeat, positive note with another compliment. That's how you sandwich your conversations. That's how you encourage kids to come back and talk to you whenever they need whenever they have a problem, instead of reaching for Google or somebody else that you don't know. They come to you because they don't feel judged, they don't feel criticized, they don't feel ridiculed. In fact, they feel respected, trusted, and valued. And isn't that how you want your child's childhood to go? Because you know what happens when you do that? You raise an adult who returns the same in communication to somebody else. All right, guys, don't forget Thursday night is our masterclass on instilling these qualities, these important lifelong qualities that your child needs to have. The link will be in our Messenger group and in our Facebook group for the Zoom meeting. The Zoom link is not the same as our Q&A, just so you know. Okay? In the meantime, guys, as always, if you have questions, tag me in a comment. And I wish you days filled with peace, love, tons of laughter. Really is the best medicine. And I'll see you here next time in our Tranquility Tribe. Bye-bye, everyone.